Now, after weeks of deadly protests in Bangladesh, the Prime Minister has resigned after 20 years in power and has even fled the country. The Army Chief has announced an interim government will now be formed. Joining us from Canberra is member of the Bangladeshi diaspora, scientist and social activist Dr. Shamaruh Mirza. Very good morning to you, Dr. Mirza. What did you make of developments in your home country?
Thank you, Michael, for having me today. I mean, it's a great moment in the history of Bangladesh that after 15 years of Army League government, the Sheikh Hasina resigned. But the most unfortunate thing is that she has fled the country, and that's unfortunate in a way because the nation is still waiting for a proper closure. And after killings of hundreds of young people, including 32 children, nation deserves this closure. So now what's happening in Bangladesh, that the Army Chief has announced yesterday that an interim government will be formed in Bangladesh, who will run the country for a brief period of time until a free and fair election is held in Bangladesh and a democratic government is formed.
What is the likelihood of that happening, given the instability there in Bangladesh of those elections and everything else you mentioned happening any time soon?
This is an interesting question. I think we have to wait next couple of days because after 15 years of corruption and oppression and nepotism, lack of democracy, probably the nation is in a very strange situation now. They're celebrating. But the most important factor in Bangladesh now is holding a free and fair election in next few weeks. And the interim government, they need to play a very significant role. But if you know that the geopolitically Bangladesh in a very sensitive situation, so we are all observing what's happening.
Okay, and take us through the composition of the interim government. You've obviously had a look at it. Does that inspire the people on the ground there with confidence as that they can rule in this, by definition, interim period?
The students have already announced last night that they want to announce a national interim government framework, and that will ensure that all the killings and everything, they are tried, and they also want an equality-based system in Bangladesh. So we are just observing what's happening, but the interim government, this framework that should be contributed by different sectors of the country, starting from academics, social activists, coming from judiciary, and obviously the student leaders.
Are there calls for accountability when it comes to the Prime Minister, who have now, the former Prime Minister, of course, has now fled the country?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Would the students and others who are part of this change, like Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister, to be held accountable even though she has fled the country?
I think the student leaders, they need it very badly. They want her to be accountable for all the killings because she is the supreme order giver. So they want her to come back to the country and they want her to be tried. But I think we need to be very cautious now, and there are many things going around in there, and there are propositions of truth and reconciliation process. So let's see what happens. And it's a very interesting moment in the history of Bangladesh, and we want a proper closure, and we hope that the students are given that.